Okay, so today we wanted to do a short video about season one of Severance, since we both watched it and the season two is currently ongoing. We thought it interesting to talk about it. I thought it particularly interesting because it's something that I've sort of like never really been super interested in this form of like, I suppose, like filmmaking and such. And it really caught my eye as to how unique this show really was.
I'm a big detective and mystery kind of shows and movies and stuff, and this is right there. After
Mhm.
I watched this, I was thinking this is one of the greatest mystery shows ever. Um, I
See, for me,
was
I'm not really like a huge fan of like mysteries, I guess, and detective shows. I think I don't even know. Like the only show I ever watched that had like theories or like shit coming out about it is maybe like Gravity Falls as it
hmm,
was coming out.
um
But I was never like big into like anything detective wise. The biggest thing I could think of movie wise is like Knives Out. Those are sort of like detective movies, I suppose. I know those. I'm not a big fan of Glass Onion or Knives Out.
um this is I think one of the best mystery shows ever, and uh like it's this is only the first season and now the second season, I guess, but there is many pitfalls that a lot of mystery shows fall into, and this does not, at least not yet.
Mhm.
There's
I
the
feel like
mystery, and it looks like there's an actual answer to the mystery, so
mhm.
that's a good thing.
I like. I think my favorite thing about like mystery shows is just seeing like all the popular fan theories surrounding them. Like, at least for me, when Gravity Falls was coming out, I think seeing like all like the different theories about like who wrote the journals, who Stan really was, what was really going on in Gravity Falls was also like probably my favorite part about watching the show. And I would say the same thing applies to Severance. I think it's really cool the community that mysteries cultivate.
I'm actually not really in the Severance community, but I can see the interesting things that they
It's
can
not about
create.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. I suppose I'm not like the biggest fan of the show either. Like I very much enjoy this show, and I'll give my score at the end. But I don't want to like. I feel like I don't really have a lot to criticize, if anything at all, because it's super like open ended. I suppose like a lot of the things that like I could criticize, they could like fix with an answer later down the line. So it's super like hard to criticize this show at this moment in time.
uh, I guess something that I really loved about the show was just the characters overall. It's just so
Mhm,
interesting seeing these. They're technically all newborns because uh,
mhm.
they know nobody else. It's interesting seeing these adults basically be like newborns in their adult bodies, and all of the character interactions and the character developments that they all go through is just so interesting to watch.
Yeah. I feel like it's a very character driven story. I agree.
Yeah.
My favorite character is Milchek, by the way. Who's your favorite?
Mm. I I think I like Mark the most. He's the main character, but still, I
Amy
think
Mark or Audi Mark?
Any Mark. Any Mark.
Yeah. Everybody likes Amy Mark. Audi Mark is a fucking lame-o. Let's be fucking real.
He has issues, so I think it's understandable why he's lame.
Yeah, yeah. Amy Mark is just like a little newborn.
One of the, I think, most interesting parts of the show is also the ethical dilemmas and the moral dilemmas and the personal dilemmas. It's
Mhm.
like the thing I kept thinking after the season finale is, okay, Innie Mark is kind of in love or at least attracted to his coworker Helly, but Audi Mark has a wife that's actually alive. So if both of these individual characters that's technically the same guy, they fall in love with different people, what's gonna happen? How are they gonna resolve
Mhm.
this? That was
I,
one
I
big part of my thoughts.
I thought a lot of the ideas and like themes were super strong in the show as well. Like the idea of I saw this movie recently with Tom Hanks, and it talks about the ideas of grief and I think this show does that super well with like, what is your purpose of living after you lose like the person you love most in this world? And it's super like, I'm sure relatable to a lot of older people who it's like either your partner dies eventually, and usually it's not at the same time as you, unfortunately. And learning to live with that and continue your life is probably one of the hardest struggles you'll ever have to deal with in life. And to see Mark's journey throughout this is super like he has a lot of coping mechanisms and it's super well thought out. That was probably my favorite part of this.
I think an underrated character is also Mark's brother-in-law, and how
He is really good.
his stupid book basically creates I guess you can say a revolution in the severed floor, I guess. And not really a revolution, but you know what I mean, I think.
It creates like their understanding of the outside world, which I have a few questions about. I'm not sure if they mentioned it, but so they don't know like a lot, obviously. Like they're newborns, but they can't like they know things like they know how to speak, they know the language, and they know a lot of like they know stuff about like movies, even though they've never seen a movie or anything. So is it like how much information do they wipe when they make like it's not
No,
another person entirely, is it?
your brain contains like each different parts of your brain contains different parts of your, I don't want to say memory, but I guess memories. Okay, so like there's the stuff that's required for life, how to eat, how to breathe, stuff like that, and there's also like personal memories. I assume they've just cut out all of your personal
Access
memories.
to the personal memories.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess I wish that was explained a little more, to be honest, just a preference. But I think my main complaint, and this is spoilers for season 1, obviously, but when in the finale of season 1, when Dylan is holding the switches in place, there's no security guard when he goes to break in, and the security guard that they killed, they never deactivated the card that like they know he's dead. They never deactivated his card. So like Dylan could just use it. They didn't replace the guy who died. So there was just one security guy and then he died and they didn't automatically replace him.
I can see that as a actual plot hole, but I can also see it as just company is just being inefficient and bad at like being a good company. They just don't really care, I guess. I don't know how to say it.
I could see like a workaround where it's like certain questions like that we have answer this plot hole, But I'm just thinking like the whole time, why did they not like it was like 3 episodes since the security guy died, right?
I would say it's incompetence. I would say it's incompetence.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, incompetence.
Yeah. But they literally just left Milchek on the floor alone with a bunch of Severed. It's like, what were we thinking?
For my score, when I watched it, I loved it. I think back in the day, if I was giving it a score, I would give it a 9. But now, I'm going to give it more of an 8. It's not that the show has issues, but I don't
just
think...
didn't enjoy it to a 10 level.
Yeah. I have not rewatched the show. Like, I don't think. I think it does have replayability value. I just didn't see the need to want to replay it because I can see how rewatching it can maybe show you, oh, I didn't notice this in the first watch, but I just didn't see the need because the mysteries you already get the mysteries in your first watch, and only the mysteries are kind of keeping you interested, in my opinion. So yeah,
I agree. Wholeheartedly.
Yes.
I think what plagues the mystery genre is rewatchability, actually. The whole premise is, you watch a movie like Knives Out, you're like, oh, I don't know who's the killer. But then you rewatch it and it's like, well, from the beginning. So it's not as interesting to play this like who's who when you know all the answers, So it's like you have to enjoy the journey to a degree. But I see what you're saying. It's like foresight is 2020, or what is it? Hindsight.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Hindsight is 2020 with like when you rewatch, you're like, oh my god, if they're the killer, then when they did this, oh my god, they're so smart. It's like that can be cool sometimes, but the novelty of that is like, how far can that really get you through a
What
rewatch?
watching this show with friends and family again would be good because you get to see their reactions to
I
whatever's
think so
happening
too.
on screen. So
I'm gonna have to go with a 7 out of 10. Actually, it's not that like again, it's just how I feel about the genre as a whole. It was never my cup of tea. I definitely enjoyed the show. I think it's very good. I don't really have a ton, if any, really criticism. I just think it's not really for me. I don't think I'd ever rewatch it. Just preference. And I didn't like my scale is an enjoyability meter, and it hit a 7 on that. If that makes sense, it's not like a how good this was. It's like how much did I enjoy it and how good it was. So a 7.
yeah, that makes sense. All right, everybody, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in our next video.
Bye bye.